time now. But to address your question, what I know is that a couple of my power lines, or one, was cut. So the army had to protect my staff to take a walk through to see and to replace the said line so that in case we need to restore power, we have the line up and running. Someone actually took a chainsaw and cut down
the electricity pole. The
electricity pole was cut down. You know, the truth about the matter is electricity is a grid, it's a loop. So you don't think that because you've seen one straight line, that is the line that goes to one side, it doesn't go to the other side. It's a loop. So the line was cut down. So the military, and I'm sure there's a video of that where the military and my staff went to assess and then they've replaced the line. Because I know conversations are still ongoing for us all to do the right thing and to restore power to the area.
You talk about conversations going on. How far have you gone with the conversation to do the right thing?
Well, we've met with a few of the chiefs and we've had the conversation. Before I got into the chair as ECG MD, I was on the board. And being on the board, I was quite conversant with some of the issues. This issue has persisted since 2014.
Since 2014?
2014.
So these communities in Lower Manya and Yilo Krobo have been enjoying powers?
They've been enjoying free electricity since 2014. The initial conversation was about wrong billing and our billing system. ECG, as a company, has accepted its part and its role in the miscalculation in the billing. We have accepted to the point where there were conversations that led to us ring-fencing the debt as at 2017. So from 2014 to 2017, the total bill of the people in Manya and Yilo Krobo is 168 million Ghana cedis.
Between 2014 and 2017?
That's correct.
168 million
Ghana cedis. So it is safe to say that you and I have been paying for their power consumption. Let's not forget that ECG buys the power from independent power producers and sells the power. Everybody thinks that whenever there's light off, oh, it's ECG, it's ECG. There's a whole chain, there's a network that everybody needs to be paid. From the power producer to the Gridco company, Ghana Grid Company to ECG. From 2014 to 2017, the total outstanding debt in Yilo Krobo and Manya Krobo is totaling 168 million. Which
we, the Ghanaian people, have been paying for. Because you, ECG, you will share the loss for all of us to pay.
Exactly. And you say, and the issue of the main issue now is we cannot superintend an institution where the backlash on us is always so harsh. As to bad service, as to us asking for an increment, yet there's a small group within the population that are not paying for the power they're using.
So you talked about ring fencing the debt, so that's as of 2017.
Yeah.
How did that process go?
So there was a committee set up and there were conversations that were held and they came up with a total calculation. And for ring fencing, we ring fence to see if their conversation could be had at a higher table to find how to calculate that debt. Let's not forget, that didn't mean that since 2017 they have been paying. Some, or majority, have not been paying since 2017 till today.
But some of the communities have been paying.
Scattered, very scattered. And I can say on authority that the number of people that pay in the community of Yilo and Manya will not even come up to about 5%.
Of the entire community? Of the entire
community. So if I'm to do another calculation,
so between 2017 and now,
I should be running into 200 plus million Ghana cedis of debt. And that is money that I owe to independent power producers.
No, so let me understand this. So within that 2014 to 2020, what kind of engagement has been going on to try and get the people to appreciate that, look, you are costing ECG losses. You have to pay or else they cannot be in business. Have you had any engagement with the stakeholders, the leadership, the chieftaincy, the MCs, all those people?
There have been countless engagements before me, and I'm sure if we don't solve this matter now, after me, there will still be engagements. The truth is, you had a problem with the billing. I said, I cannot, look, I have a difficulty here. I have over 2 million postpaid meters, and I have only 800 meter readers nationwide. I can't.
Over 2 million postpaid meters.
Yeah, and I have.
And that's 800.
800 meter readers. So I need to do something fast to change the story of this company. And in changing the story of this company is prepaid meters. I need to get to the point where all I have to do is come and inspect my prepaid meter to know it is healthy. It's not as to whether it's, but it's just healthy. So my conversation now is we have to give you prepaid so that there's no issue of somebody who hasn't come to read your meter, so you've not been billed. You know something, my brother? I'm sure you have a prepaid meter.
I do.
I also have a prepaid meter. We are all paying. Whatever I will do in Fadama to get my money by giving people in Fadama prepaid meters, I should be able to do that in Yilo Krobo to also get my money. Whatever I will do in Dansuman, I should be able to do the same thing in Manya Krobo to get my money. So I don't understand the resistance to prepaid meters. Is it that, does it mean that somebody just doesn't want to pay for the power?
But you see, the underlying issue, which you have outlined quite clearly, is the fact that they were worried. Their concern was that you were billing them wrongly. Some people just show up, and then you tell somebody that, look, you should pay 2,000 cedis, some 1,000 cedis, without any explanation as to why you are giving them that bill. That's a legitimate concern for them to raise.
It's a very valid conversation, but let me tell you something. As I said, I stand for the present and the future of ECG as a family. I cannot, what has happened in the past, if we want to move forward, we don't need to dwell so much on what was discussed and who pushed who and who touched who. The issue is that it has happened. You were wrongfully billed. There were issues. The money has been ring-fenced. Fine. Now, the issue at hand is how do we go forward from here? And I am saying to go forward from here and to avoid all of this, take prepaid meters. Let's not forget, under PDS, this same issue came up. They were put off. And then people intervened on humanitarian grounds. They were put back on. Now, there's a part of this story that as ECG as a company, we've kept quiet about.
Which is?
Look, we started the exercise. And with all due respect to a few of the people in the community, they accepted the prepaid meters. They took the prepaid meters with no complaint. Others resisted. And we said, when we get to your place and you don't want to take the prepaid, just say it. We will take you off the service line. We don't give you service, that's all. And then the one who wants to take, we give him, and then we move forward. We got to a certain community. They were disturbing us. So we decided to disconnect them from the distribution transformer. Whenever we disconnect them and we go back to base and we get back, they've connected themselves back to the grid.
But you see, that's the question. I mean, there are others who held the opinion that these people can't connect themselves without the assistance of, people, electricians or staff of ECG.
Granted. So what do? You scale it a notch higher. I said, if this is the community that doesn't want it, let's disconnect them from the high tension.
So that's what you've done.
So we We disconnected them from the high tension, went back, saw that the lines were being disturbed. We came back only to see that they had reconnected themselves to the high tension. Question is, if somebody had died in that process, who would have been blamed? One. Secondly, I was during an evening patrol to patrol our lines because of these. The soldiers and my staff got to the place where they had reconnected themselves back, got out of the car to check. A mob came out and started pelting them with stones. My brother, if an army officer had felt threatened and had shot, what conversation would you be having with me now? Let's be fair. The mere fact that the company called ECG has kept quiet about some of the things happening doesn't mean that the company is not also getting hurt. They went on a demonstration. They pelted stones at our buildings. They've burnt our buildings down. They've destroyed our vehicles. And you want us to go to the same neighborhood and work? If your brother were to have been assigned to that place to go work, do you think he will go? But the safety of the staff of ECG is important. The army is not there to intimidate. The army is there to assist. They are part of the engineers regiment. Every single officer you see there is an electrical engineer. As you can see, the pictures going around, so they are helping with the installation.
The military officers are engineers themselves.
They are electrical engineers. How you saw the pictures with them on the
Yes,
ladders?
they were doing the installation. I was asking myself why military officers are involved in installing prepaid meters.
It was carefully selected. They came to us. We've been doing joint exercises because of electrification in the Burma camp and around their military installations. They came to us. We went to our training school. We sat with them for over 2 weeks. And then they were deployed out with the team to also assist and then also to protect. Look, we've not had a good relationship with our customers in Yilo Krobo and Manya Krobo. I don't deny that. But also, we also want to give them the service. But we want them to do the right thing.
How do you balance the right thing that you're doing with the social good or the impact that is having on, for instance, health institutions that are having to spend? In fact, the last time I checked, one health institution was spending over 30,000 cedis on diesel to power their generator for within 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then also some of the businesses in the community that are suffering. In fact, some of them are closing down as a result of this. So you're doing the right thing by ensuring that, look, you get people who have joined power illegally to pay for it, but then also the impact that is having on healthcare delivery, for instance.
What is wrong with everybody in that community saying, you know what, let's just take these prepaid meters and let's move forward? Because the whole conversation is about prepaid. If we talk about equality, we should be equal. We shouldn't say we want this when we know very well that this is not what we want. Let's agree that it's prepaid. It serves everybody. But my biggest question is, why don't they want the prepaid?
So how about the hospitals? I mean, those health institutions, have you engaged them like for an exception to the mass disconnection?
As I said, it's a grid. It's a grid. It's very sad what's going on. And they're a community. All they have to do is come together and let's find a lasting solution today. You understand?
For as long as this lingers, these health facilities will not have electricity?
This thing wasn't done in abeyance. This decision wasn't taken in abeyance. And I'm telling you, the same way you are fighting for them and championing for them now, if the army officer had shot or they have destroyed my power lines, I have replaced them. At whose cost? You are not paying. But I have replaced them. You destroyed distribution transformers. I have replaced them. At whose cost? At the cost of the state? Nobody is coming to save us, my brother. ECG, nobody is coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. We have to save ourselves. And we found out that when we are being hit, that you have 28% in losses. Morally, I cannot go out auditing people's meters and talking about revenue mobilization and revenue generation when just a small group is holding me to ransom.
The MC for, I think, Yilo Krobo says that some of the communities are not at fault of what you are talking about, but you have disconnected them as well. So in his view, that's a very unfair treatment meted out to them.
It's the same one power grid line that supplies all of them. It's the same feeder that supplies all of them. And I do admit, I have not been fair to some of them. I must admit. But the truth of the matter is, if I do anything, for example, let me use an example. When this whole disturbances started, they started throwing things onto the line. They were disturbing the line. So you have voltage issues. I can decide to give those other places power, but they'll have voltage issues. Because, they're tampering, because electricity travels in a straight line. And when they keep tampering with it, what happens? The voltage goes up, comes down. I will blow something in your house. You come and surcharge me. It will fire. Your house can burn. ECG's fault. So what do? I'm caught between a very sticky situation. I'm caught in a very sticky situation. And how to solve the problem is to be able to bring everybody to the table. All that needs to happen is that we need to agree that ECG staff also need protection. ECG staff are somebody's dads, somebody's mom. They've also bear the brunt of what do you call it? Of the people of my customers in Yilo and Manya Krobo. All I am asking is consensus building. And the consensus building is we have to give you prepaid meters. You have to start paying your bills because other people in Ghana, other Ghanaian citizens cannot be carrying you on their backs.
The last time I checked, you lose about close to 3.2 billion to power theft.
I'm telling you. Yes.
Illegal connection.
Illegal connections and power theft.
3.2 billion.
3.2. So if you take the 200 out, I get what? At least I've reduced it to 3 billion, which is a success story.
Is this approach going to work?
Honestly, it's not, again, it's a plain business decision. It's not an approach or something intentional. If I don't have the requisite staff to man the lines, I cannot give power to the area. I must be able to work in a safe working environment. If I can't grant my employees a safe working environment, then what am I superintending? I cannot send somebody's father or mother out there knowing very well that their lives are at stake, or they will come back home battered and bruised. It's not possible.
If you are posting that much losses or you are losing that much to power theft, what measures have you put in place? I mean, beyond what's happening in Yilo, to address the situation, the national situation of power theft, that amounts over 3.2 billion to you.
So, as you can, if you cast your mind back about 6 weeks ago, I'm very customer oriented. I started something called, I gave something out called an amnesty. Others labeled it a moratorium. This moratorium, after we were done, the results came out over 100,000 plus people came out to report illegalities and tampering and all of that. Through that, over 100,000 of my customers that I didn't even know appeared.
How many types of prepaid meters do you have in the system?
Currently, I would say, I don't have that figure offhand, but at some point, I know there are about 4 local main manufacturers that I deal with.
Okay.
That I know for a fact that those are the ones I deal with, because we are trying to grow capacity and we are trying to grow Ghana business. So we are very, very inward looking when it comes to prepaid meters. Yeah.
I had figures about 17. Some I've seen other types.
Some of them have been cancelled off the list. They've been cancelled off the list because, you know, when you start something, different ones come in. Right now, ECG has gone MMS. It's called a meter management system. If the meter you are bringing to me cannot speak to my MMS, I can't do business with you. So for what I know, the meter companies that have passed and the local manufacturing ones, I know I'm dealing with about 4.
You proposed a 148% increase in tariffs.
Let's not forget, I don't really want to wade into that conversation because it's subject to PURC.
Yes, you've been doing a national consultation on this matter.
So I can propose.
Everybody says times are hard. We can't pay an increase in electricity tariffs.
Yeah.
So should we expect an increase in tariffs?
To be very honest with you, I'll say it's up to PURC. It's up to PURC. They are the regulator.
You want us to pay.
Yeah. But if the regulator comes back to me and says, I'm not going to give you the increment, what can I do? I cannot do anything. No, let's not forget, the same tariff has been in place since 2017, 2018, up to today. Am I still not surviving?